wants to tame me. You can't catch me on the run, cause I'm gone, yeah. I blaze trails, set fire to what's behind me. No, I'm never looking back, I'm on the run. I could only ever be what I'm made to be. It feels good when I'm living on the edge. Watch me now, roll like thunder, gonna sacred ground. Can't stop me now, I don't give up and I won't back down. I'm a force of nature, can't be contained. I got lightning running all through my veins. Watch me now, watch me now.
Hi, I'm Wyatt Milan. I'm from Canova, West Virginia. When I'm back home, you'll find me at my local Par-Mar store.
We have that gold and blue pride at your local Par-Mar store. We are coming to your neighborhood soon. West Virginia, Kentucky, Ohio, Pennsylvania, and Maryland, we have you covered. Download the Par-Mar app and sign up for the Par-Mar rewards card. Food, gas, groceries, and more. We are gold and blue proud, and we are Par-Mar stores.
If there's not a Par-Mar store near you now, there will be soon.
Law offices of Mark Plants and Kevin Davis. First line of defense. Big Box Beverages, the world's tastiest portable punch, as seen on Shark Tank. Buzzballs, ready-to-drink cocktails. #1 single-serve premix brand in the U.S. Buzzballs, have a ball. And have a ball, because that's what Mountaineer Nation did on Saturday night. Have a ball, although maybe not so much in the beginning or middle, but they did at the end, and Mountaineer Nation was celebrating. And this Mountaineer team, this gritty team, this team of themselves that was picked 14th to begin, and now they're looking like they're a lot better than 14th, and who knows what they can do, where they're going to go from here. But we are here to talk about, welcome everybody to the WolfMan's Call. It is Monday. It is October. It is the 2nd. I just remember just waiting for that Penn State game, just building up every day, talking about Penn State. And here we are. The Mountaineers are 4-1. A lot of stuff going around college football. WVU, now the talk is, are they 14th or should they be in the top 25, right? That's the question going on right now, and a lot of things happening. You know, there's a lot of adversarial stuff going on for the Mountaineers at the same time with all the good stuff and the fight, and, you know, it's kind of it's a Mountaineer team. I mean, it kind of is, man. And we talked about blue collar. We talked about, you know, smacking and being that nasty team, and you're seeing it with this. You know, we talked about Neil Brown having to coach a certain way, in our opinion. In my opinion, I'm talking about me. I'm not talking about anybody else now. All right, it's having to do, and I see him doing it, honestly, and I see him doing some things that truly I think is different than in the past. Maybe he would admit it, maybe he wouldn't. But that's what I see, knowing him like I have known him in the past. And what I see this year, I see differences. And I see him with intent and purpose. I see him talking physicality, doing a camp for physicality. And I see him doing a lot of good stuff. Some stuff I still scratch my head, but I'm sure when I was head coach, others said the same thing about me. But we have the panel today, and it is the Fabulous Five panel, if you include me today. But we got a new one, we got some old, and we're just going to start out, man. I'm so excited, fired up to talk about this. But let's start off with our author and historian, Frank Fear. What's up, Frank?
Hey, I'm doing great, Wolf. Everything you talked about during the summer, man, it's in front of us now, and it's just great.
All right. Excellent intro, by the way. Thank you. Very much about that. And let's just go right to the newbie here. And that would be, he's not newbie because this is David Miller. David is West Virginia I. Stands for WV Illustrated. You think you should all know it. Now it's turned into like Golden Blue Nation. But this is one of the man. He is the founder, co-founder, whatever you want to call him. But he was there when it started. David, how you doing, buddy? How you doing, David? Did he freeze? Well, all of a sudden he was good to go, and then it was there. So we'll go ahead and put him up there, and then, all right, Hawkeye, you're on, buddy.
What's up, gentlemen? How we doing?
Doing good, man. Doing good. Are you fired up?
I am ready. I am definitely ready.
All right, man. Very good. And I'm going to go back to David here at West Virginia Illustrated. David, how are you?
Hey, what's going on, Wolfman? Thanks for having me on the show today, brother. How you doing?
I'm doing great, man. You're out there in Phoenix right now. You're working with Service Wire. But, man, are you still a Mountaineer? You come back all the time. It is great to have you on the show, my friend.
You know it, man. This is a great and refreshing break from remove that Arizona ticket course I'm taking. Got a ticket speeding the other day, man, and have to get rid of the points.
I didn't think they had a speed limits out there in Arizona, man. Right on. Well, here we go. Last but not least, Hall of Fame strength and conditioning coach, our guy, WVU former strength and conditioning coach, Alan Johnson. What's up?
Wolf, what's going on? How you guys doing? Hey, is it a great day to be a Mountaineer or what?
Boy, I can tell you think so. So that's pretty good. All fired up. Because you're out there in Tennessee. Are you still in Tennessee right now?
Still in Tennessee here in Bristol.
Oh, in Bristol, Tennessee. All right. Well, we got a whole bunch going on here, man. I'm going to start off with you, David. Hey, just tell us real quick, man, about WVI Illustrated, how you started out and how it's turned into gold and blue. Just give us a quick, brief history.
Absolutely, Wolfman. You know, I started that with a pure passion and love for Mountaineer sports. You know, I saw a void out there in some video possibilities. And, you know, I spent 9 months in my basement building out this blog and got a following and got some investors. And, man, I went for it. And I absolutely just built that with passion. And we launched it. And we had full media credentials within about a year. Absolutely loved it, enjoyed it, sold it to a larger media company. And they gave us what we needed, man.
Yeah, they sure did, and now it's thriving. I was on the show for 10 years, man. Yeah. You know, I was doing the WolfMan's Den. I was there doing the big hit of the week, you know, doing the Kegler's highlight of the week, all kinds of stuff, man. But it was good, man. And they're still cranking up with Nick and Jessica and all of them out there. So they're still doing a good job. And all right, so let's go ahead and let's talk about this game. David, all right, TCU, I said it. I said this defense, we're going to find out if it's for real or not. First half, I was like, wow, what's going on? Second half, they look for real. Where are you seeing this defense at right now? Are they for real?
I think they are for real, Dale. I think we're going to be tested here in the next couple of weeks. Great to have a bye.
All right. Reaching up on us. Go ahead, Al. I'll give you the same question. You think this defense is real?
Yeah, you know what's crazy? You think about usually in preseason camp, coaches are always talking about how the defense is ahead of the offense. Well, now we're in a good situation. Our defense is more prevalent, and they're more. You know, at this time of the year, usually you're talking about the offense is moving the ball, etc. But the defense is lacking, especially in the secondary, like in the last 2 to 3 years. But now I think the defense is tired of taking the brunt of the jokes and the abuse, and they've stepped up. And I think it helps our offense because it kind of sets the pace and tempo of the game.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, David, go ahead and finish what you were saying about the defense. All right, well, we got problems. I'm sorry, David. He's just jumping in from lunch here. But, all right, Frank, go ahead, man. Talk to me about the defense. Do you think they're for real or not? What are you seeing?
Oh, you know, let me put it this way. There are games. There are games that you remember 10, 15, 20 years down the road. Saturday night was one of those. The way they came out in the second half, 100 yards total for TCU in the second half. And when they showed the sidelines, you could see frustration. This isn't supposed to be happening. They're an offensive juggernaut. That defense is for real. And the thing that, you know, you got to take pride in this. is that the next man up. Not only they played with grit, but my God, and I think, Bob Hertzl put it well. Those weren't injuries, those were casualties. Next man up came in, names we hadn't heard a lot of came in, filled the void, did great. Yeah, the defense is for real, no question.
Yep. Hey, Keith, let me ask you this. When you saw that defense in the first half, they gave up 300 yards first half and 21 points. And TCU was pretty much, having their will right there. Although they did make a few stops to Mountaineers in some key situations in the first half, but they still gave up 21 points. Who's the real defense here now? Which one is it?
I think it's going to be that second half defense. I think that second half proved to them a lot that they can shut a team down like TCU. Now, one thing I didn't understand in the second half was TCU went away from the run and really was leaning on the pass, and I didn't understand that. But we have a bend, don't break defense right now, and I like that.
David, let me ask you, and I think you're back with us. So, again, defensively, You think it's the one in the second half. What do you think of those injuries, and can they sustain the level of play they have? Got Cutter coming in there for Lathan, and so when you have two of them, it's a lot better than one, and especially putting all that pressure on a freshman.
Well, they're showing resilience, Dale. I mean, they're showing they can step up at the right time and make the big play. If you'll notice, they ran all over us, and all three of TCU's touchdowns were on big plays, I think, of 31 yards or greater. And those are the only points they scored on all night. And thankfully, our special teams stepped up and blocked a few field goal attempts. But, I think the depth is going to be the key here. We've been beaten up a little bit, and I think we're playing well. Our assignments are great. Everybody's staying in their positions. And I think as a team, we're starting to gel a little bit defensively. Thank God for Jordan Leslie going out and building some new schemes in the offseason, huh?
Well, a lot better than what we saw last year. I think the biggest difference is he's got this defense, and this is just my opinion, but they're fighting, they're attacking, but they're playing on the same page. They're able to align, and they're able to get their fits going on, even when offense goes in a hurry, jet tempo. And I think that could be like the biggest difference that I see is that they're playing aggressive. Like you look at Penn State, I did not see an aggressive secondary in there, and thus you put up the 300 yards. But at times in the defense, when Beanie Bishop is playing at his best, he's playing aggressive. He's up there. He's playing those guys tight. And that's what I see from all of them of how they're playing it. Didn't see in the first half, though. I'm going to be honest, guys. They gave up 300 yards in the first half. Let's not forget, and let's be real about what we saw. And I think there's some advantages. 2 blocked field goals are huge, but I saw 2 kicks. They went right into the defenders. I just think that this is a very opportunistic team. So that's okay. You build off of that. I remember in 1988, we had to have some opportunistic events happen for us, and that's what maintained. And then the juggernaut got rolling. Do you remember that, Al?
Yeah, I sure do. It was a season of lows, highs and lows. But the thing was, like you said, Wolf. I mean, the team, momentum built, and the team became more confident. I mean, as you continue to win, and confidence breeds success, and that's what hopefully that's what you're seeing. I mean, this week's going to be a tough one, I think, in terms of from a mental perspective with going into Houston.
That's right. And Frank, when you think about opportunistic, and you think about this team getting it done, they got it done. No matter what anybody wants to say. All right, opportunities exist. Yeah, man, that's the game of football, right? And again, ugly wins still builds confidence, and every ugly win they have, they get more confidence as a team.
Yeah, and if you think about it, when that defense is playing the way we want them to play, that means the other teams play WVU ball. That happened in the second half. We played TCU ball in the first half. And so that gives you confidence because TCU was in the national championship game last year. And now you're playing on their field. Second half, you come out and you get them to play 2 quarters your way. And that has to give you a hell of a lot of confidence.
That's for sure. All right, so Hawkeye, let's get down to the nitty gritty on this. All right. When I'm looking at this, I see right here that the second half. I mean, I think there's like 11, 12 plays run in the third quarter by TCU. I think literally it was 3 and out, 3 and out. Maybe they had 11 plays in the quarter, but they didn't have too many more, man. What did this defense do to turn that on? Was it Jordan Leslie making adjustments? Was it the defense players just playing better? What did you see, man?
Well, number one, I seen our offense play ball control. So that definitely limited the snaps for TCU. Number two, I think at halftime, we made some adjustments. Something we haven't seen in a long time. A team come out and play differently. You know, we're seeing some different schemes. And again, I don't know why TCU all of a sudden wanted to just throw the ball. I don't understand that. But our defense did exactly what it had to do, and our offense did what they had to do. Limit that offense. If they're sitting on the sideline, they can't score.
Yep, that's the truth. And just to back up what you're saying is that they've been running about 210 yards per game rushing, and they were throwing or running the ball at least 40 more reps than they did run the ball. They passed the ball. They ran 40 more reps than passing the ball coming into the game. So again, turning it the other way, that played in the WVU's favor, though. It really did. And here's the other thing. So David, let's look at this, man. Look at if you can see it here. 5 sacks for WVU, 0 for TCU. There's that stops drives, man.
Absolutely. Yeah, Dale, I'm not quite ready to go out and print my "What Has Brown Done for You" t-shirt just yet. But there are some impressive stats starting to stack up in Mountaineer's favor. And I think it boils down to that consistency they're playing. And Neil Brown allowing his coaches to coach and trusting in what they can bring to the table and making those adjustments. WVU's given up only 10 second-half points the last 3 games. I think this is something sustainable if we can stay healthy.
That's a great point, and healthy is another great point, and we know what that means. We saw that. But go ahead. What do you mean by the fact that you're saying that Neil Brown's letting his defensive coaches coach? What are you saying?
Well, I think, he's our offensive coordinator. He's amping up the offense. Maybe he's in practice, pulling face masks, smacking helmets, and getting that mojo back, getting rid of that grandfather sweater at Christmas and stepping up in practice and getting these guys going. I think he's getting a set on him, Dale. I think he's getting fired up, and he's getting his team ready to play and letting the coaches do the work.
Hey, Al, what do you think about that? I should say Coach Al, excuse me. But what do you think about that, man? Neil Brown maybe getting a little bit. I like this Neil Brown. I like this Neil Brown that's challenging others and walking around, like he's a little bit pissed off. You know what I mean? Walking around like, you just stepped on my toes, dude. Back off. Take 2 steps back, sir, before I put you down. That's the Neil Brown that I'm seeing, and that's what I'm saying in the beginning. I haven't always known that from him. I'm seeing it, man, and you know what? That gives you a little bit of swagger.
There's no question. But you think about, hey, when you're not successful, and let's say your offense defense not playing well, and you're going to halftime, you're only down 21-14. I mean, you're playing with them. You can play with them. You got confidence, but also think about this success as you're winning. Not only do the players get more confident, also the coaches. And the coaches loosen up a little bit in terms of if they're coaching tight. You're 3-1 going into the game. You come out of this one 4-1. But I'm saying at halftime, you've got a swagger about you because you're only down by 7. And you're playing with these guys who played the national championship game. So there's a confidence factor, and they feel it. And coaches like Coach Brown and DC, the OC, all these coaches are coaching. They're coaching that moment. They're not coaching for the season. They're coaching for that moment in time. And so they have a tendency to be more confident and to be more relaxed in terms of their coaching style, I believe, in the locker room.
Frank, let me ask you this. Looking at that secondary, because we knew the secondary is a problem after Penn State, right? 322 yards, a large first start. We all know about that. We all know how good Penn State is too at the same time. But have you seen a difference in the way they're playing right now, that secondary, than when you saw in that Penn State game? I'm talking about scheme-wise and the fact of technique-wise. Are they aligning different? Because I'm just going to let you answer that one. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, there's no question about it, but I will say this. When I saw that Penn State game, I said, this is not the same defense as last year. They looked a lot better. Penn State had an untested quarterback, remember, but they had a running game, and they won that game because of their quarterback. I think Penn State only had about 145 yards, and none of the running backs had more than 50 yards, I think, or 70, and the longest run was 14. The thing that I like about this defense, they're playing as a unit. We were so concerned about the secondary. But what's happening now is they're playing as a unit, getting good line play, getting good linebacking play, and surprisingly good secondary play. And so, yeah, it's amazing the difference between then and now. All positive.
I absolutely agree, but I will say this, that whole start with Neil Brown, if you recall in the summertime, Frank, you've been with me the entire time, I think, at the beginning of the show. I'm saying that they have to do what? Two things. They have to improve their fundamentals of blocking and tackling. Okay? Fundamentals of blocking and the most crucial of them all. And I think you could say right now, they're getting well, until Saturday night, they missed some tackles in the first half, but they're getting a B plus to an A right there, considering what they came from last year. Am I right there, Hawkeye?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we had some missed tackles Saturday night. But, you know, Dale, this is a team that I watched in the first half when it was 21-14 at the half, and I'm sitting there thinking, here's a team that's just trying to find a way to win. And that's what it looked like for most of the game. Now you've got a team on both sides of the ball that in these type of games, they're going to expect to win. They know they can go out there and get the job done. And they can play from behind to a degree. So I like it. I like it.
Exactly. And David, that's what builds confidence when you're sitting there and you're fighting and you say, you know what, we didn't play very good in the first half as a defense, but we're only down by 7. So let's go out there and let's just go out there and kick it. And then you add on there seeing two of your teammates, you're especially on the defensive side. One, Aubrey Burks went down. Now it's good news. Good news. Everything is good with Aubrey Burks, but that's scary. And then you have Lathan going to Trey Lathan with that ankle that was the bone was sticking out. And here these guys are. And did it actually bring them together? Was it a catalyst to bring them together and play harder? But some teams would fade away from that. Not these guys. They played harder.
They sure did. I mean, you're oh, I'm sorry. Did you go to me, Dale?
I did, David. Yes.
Yeah. You're talking about a 15, 20-minute delay, and they came right back out and took care of business. You know, the emotional distress of a player down, it's emotionally tough. You know, they have shown resilience to come back from being down or from an injury such as that. And I think they're showing that grit. They're coming back. They're ready, and they're playing great. They're just playing great football right now.
Yep. And there's another guy. You can see it right here in the stats. Lee Koba, who's been leading this team all year long. And let's go ahead and let's talk about Lee Koba. And Frank, what's your opinion when you hear of Lee Koba and what you've seen so far this season?
Well, it's aggressiveness. And it goes back to what you harped upon all summer long, and you mentioned it earlier. These guys have to get better in the fundamentals, and they have to execute. And the thing that I like about this team right now, more than anything else, and David talked about patterns, is that when the offense gets in the red zone, they're scoring almost 75% of the time, and almost all of those scores are touchdowns. And on the defense side, basically they're holding the opposition to about 40%, and they're doing great on third down, 28%. You know, and Koba is in the middle of that. 28% success on third down conversions that's a pattern. That's not one game. That's not TCU. And so what I really like about this team, just to reinforce what David said, there are patterns emerging, And one of the patterns is when adversity strikes, and it happened twice with both guys being carted to the hospital, that team came out stronger than before those injuries. It was just amazing to see.
All right, there we go. Let's hear for the man himself, Lee Coma, who I absolutely love, by the way, just so you know that.
It feels great, just to come in here, whenever you can come in an opposing team stadium and come out with a win, it always feels good. So it's a big win for us. So, yeah, it feels great.
Well, first of all, I put that in there just so we can look at his smile, because it's an infectious smile, and that's a happy camper right there. But here we go. Let's listen to this one.
We just bowled up. We realized that, we didn't have the best first half as the defense. So, we came in at halftime, realized that we had to play harder, in order to win the game, and that's what we did.
Oh, man. All right, he's telling us straight out. Hawkeye, what do you think about him saying straight out, we didn't play great in the first half, realizing it, I'm a leader, and we got to get better?
Well, it tells me that obviously they didn't go in and start pointing fingers at each other. and he's a guy that's kind of been, I guess for no better way to say it, he's kind of been forced into a leadership role. I don't think that he was a natural born fit to be the leader of that team, but he was kind of forced into it. And I'm sure that he had something to say at halftime. But he's right. They bowed up. They realized that they were not playing well. They got their heads together. They went out in the second half and got the job done. They played a hell of a game in the second half.
Al, I don't think he was smiling like that at halftime. What do you think?
I guarantee he wasn't. Again, you know what? It's the better teams, better team culture you have, better chemistry at halftime. I mean, guys are getting after each other. I'll tell you what. I mean, I've seen it for so many years when you've had just very poor first halves and you barely got off the bus to show up. But I've seen some guys just get after each other and get in each other's face and see if they would respond to the challenge. Like, we're getting embarrassed out here. I mean, we're not playing the way we're capable of playing. The other thing I think is unique in what you guys have brought up is we're talking about Neil Brown talking about preseason camp, Dale. Remember how he talked about we're going back to fundamentals and everybody kind of like, ha, ha, ha. Hey, here's a guy that's in his fifth year. I mean, how humble you and the humility you have to even acknowledge that publicly. Number one, most coaches in their fifth year fighting for their lives or fighting for their job would admit we're going back to basics in the fifth year. I mean, not that you haven't emphasized the fundamentals up to that point, but to me, I mean, that speaks volumes there of what kind of person, what kind of coach Neil Brown is.
Boy, I tell you what, you brought on a point. Dog, I can't argue that one, man. That is a humbling experience to realize that their defense last year hit rock bottom. I mean, we all knew it. We all knew it. David, you knew it hit rock bottom. Frank, you knew it. Let's go ahead and finish up the last one here, Lee Coma. David, I'm going to start out with you.
As being a leader on the team and, my teammates, I'm pretty sure they looked at me to make a play. And that's the guy that I want to be. I want to be the guy your teammates look to when you need a play to make it. So it felt pretty good just knowing my teammates just had faith in me and, was with me all the way through. So that felt pretty good.
David, there's nothing like the fact when you go ahead and he's talking the talk, but he walks the walk.
First off, what a happy guy, huh? I mean, he's just happy. What a lovable guy. What else do I need to say? 8 solo tackles, 1 sack.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. But a total of 11 tackles, he had a sack. And Frank, what do you think about that, man?
Well, I think his demeanor says everything. These guys are a really together bunch. You can see it. They care about each other. They got together at halftime. We can do this. The last second touchdown in the second quarter was a shock. It's just fantastic. And I just want to reinforce what Hawkeye says. It takes both sides of the ball. And we had time of possession 7 minutes more. And you're absolutely right earlier what you said, Wolf, and that is that, they only had, I think it was 9 or 10 plays in the third quarter. WVU had 20. And so it's so simple. If you've got the ball, unless there's a miscue, they can't score. And that's the real key to West Virginia. Ball control, time of possession, and a tough, gritty defense. And so far, 4 games in a row, it's working like a charm.
So far it is.
Hey, Dale,
Yeah.
I got to leave quick, but I want to say one more thing. Turnovers, no turnovers and penalties. Those 2 things are key this year for the Mountaineers, especially against TCU.
Well, you know what, David? That is all discipline. Discipline, man.
Yeah.
And that's the difference. Discipline. When the guys are listening to you and they're going out there and doing it, and that's all part of that whole mental attitude of physicality, blue collar, doing what you have to do to be victorious. That's the difference, in my opinion.
Yes, sir. Well, listen, guys, it's been a pleasure. Wolfman, thank you for having me on the show. I'm thrilled. I hope you have me back again, but let's go Mountaineers. Let's keep it going. Keep the pedal to the metal.
All right. Well said. David Miller, everybody. Hey, remember, he started WVI, baby. Still my favorite. I worked 10 years with him. Love it all. Thank you, brother. Take care.
Yes, you take care.
All righty. Okay, so let's go ahead. I got Neil Brown hooked up here. Get Hawkeye up there, the hot seat there. We'll go ahead and I love the hot seat putting you guys on there. All right, here we go. Neil Brown.
Proud of a
Excuse me, this is from Saturday.
football team as I've ever been, and what a huge win. TCU is a really good football team. Team that they won a lot of those games last year on their way to the national championship, and I have a ton of respect for them. I have a ton of respect for Sonny and really the staff that he's put together, and they do a great job. And this was a fight. And we're a team that's kind of built for ugly football, for fights.
Oh, Al, do you hear that? Ugly football for fights. What do you say?
Hey, all it matters when all the ticks are off the clock, and it shows a dub. It doesn't. Hey, it may be ugly, but it counts as a win regardless. Hey, how many people listening or watching or on this panel right now would have thought after 5 weeks you're tied for first in the Big 12? How many people? I mean, seriously.
Well,
a lot of people lost a lot of money probably if they were betting against West Virginia to be 4-1 at this point in the season.
Well, no, actually, because I keep taking West Virginia with the points. All right, so I'm actually doing well because of cover 2 data, baby. Cover 2. Thank you for the self-promotion for cover 2 there. But regardless, all right, so Hawkeye, let's go. What do you think about what Dale just said there, man?
Well, first of all, I got to say, Al, I am one of those. I did not expect WVU to be sitting where it's at, and I couldn't be more thrilled. But with what Neil said, we've all seen these teams. They win ugly week in and week out, and this team is physical, guys. Surprisingly enough, this is a physical team. They're not the most overskilled team, but they fight. They're physical. They're imposing their will on the other team. I love it. I can't say enough. I'm thrilled.
I'm going to say this. Okay, Frankie, this goes to you now, and I love this. But I'm thinking of Mike Lockhart. I'm going to tell you the truth, man. He was lazy as lazy could be last year, and maybe, he just the light bulb hadn't gone on. Maybe he didn't understand it. But when I say lazy, I mean, I watched him on 15 reps. He never gave any of this effort. Now he's out there. He's running around like a doggone, I'm going to say it, with a chicken with his head cut off, except he's got his head on and he's making the right plays. But he's that frisky.
You're absolutely correct. One of the concerns we've all had, you've talked about it a lot, we have too, that the impact of NIL and the transfer portal, that players are playing for themselves. 3 and 4 teams they'll transfer. But Lockhart, the transformation in him is amazing. I was looking at the data. I'm looking at him now. He scored a 70. He was graded out a 70 on Saturday night. That was like 3rd or 4th on the team. He not only played well, he was a leader out there. And so I agree. And, he's not alone. I mean, he is absolutely not alone. And that's why I think this team is special. They're playing together. The offense, the defense, and, I think Hawkeye put it very well. Maybe not the most skillful team, but boy, are they playing well together.
No doubt. Here we go.
And we have a really tough team that's really close, and it's a group that's grown together. Our back's been against the wall. Nobody's believed in us. You know, I don't want to hear anybody that's on social media or, oh, yeah, I saw them being 4-1. Nope, the only people that really believe are us. And I felt like that as we went through spring, summer, into fall camp, we had a team that was capable of winning close football games.
All right. Al, I like this guy, Coach. I love this guy.
It's a bunker mentality. It's a bunker mentality. It's us against the world. Nobody loves us. Nobody cares about us except for our families, our teammates, the people in this building, in this program. And I tell you what, that's like earlier in the summer. Hey, I think the best thing to happen to this team to be ranked 14th preseason going to the Big 12. I mean, and the thing is, they're playing for each other, and there's one heartbeat. And then when everyone pulls in the same direction, pulls the rope in the same direction, it's unbelievable what can happen. And you know what? The story's it's not finished yet. But I tell you what, regardless of how things go going forward, I mean, I think we're going to remember how tough and gritty this team was or is.
Yeah, you know, he's calling us. He's calling me out. That's what he's doing, and I like it. Go ahead, Neil Brown. 100 to you, man. Call us out. Call everybody out. Now, I'm going to tell you what I said. I said, you got to do this if you want to win. But I sure as heck did not know that he would be able to do it. I did not.
Hey, Wolf.
Yeah.
Hey, you think there's an increase in the amount of athletic tape that's being sold in the state of West Virginia today?
Yeah. You know what else I think? Yeah, I do. I
tape ankles up for all those bandwagon jumpers. They're now jumping back on the bandwagon. They've taped their ankles so in case they have to jump off again.
You know what? Hey, listen, I'm going to tell you this. Those guys, they go up and off, you know what I mean, back and forth just by the roll of the night and the roll that you watch on the game. You never know. But Hawkeye, let me ask you this, man. He's calling you out, and me. So but again, I didn't think they were going to be 4-1.
Nope. Hey, this humble pie tastes pretty good today. I don't mind it at all. And Coach is right, man. You know, at the end of the day, it's only the people inside that building. They lean on each other. We as fans, you know, we're fickle, we're hot, we're cold. This team's come together. They have really come together well. And you're right. We don't know what they might go out and win the next 6 or lose the next 5. We don't know, but they've proven a lot. And one thing is that they're a team, and they're going to play for each other. They're going to, you know, they know somebody's going to make a play. I just can't say enough how happy I am about this.
All right, Frank. They're out there. He's calling everybody out. He's walking around with some swagger. Last week, even before his last press conference, he said, if we're going to be a contender. Before, was talking about being 14th and not finishing last, and now it's moved up to being a contender. That's a big jump, and that was before the TCU victory.
Yeah, you know, the thing is, if there's a lesson here, I think there are a couple lessons. First of all, football teams are organizations, and the kinds of things those guys talked about on those clips you showed, including Coach Brown, shows they're a good organization. They have unity. They're focused on a goal. They're good at fundamentals, and they deliver. The other thing is, let's stop with all the naysaying. You know, it's not just what's being said on social media. It's how it's being said, and the dismissiveness and the negativity. And as you know, I actually got off one of the sites. It's bad enough when individuals do it. When sites do it, that's ridiculous. And so you're right. I've taken down names, and some of the people who were going, Brown should be fired, this and that, the player's no good, quarterback sucks. They're now saying, wow, we could go 7 and 4. We can go 8. We can win. We can win 8 games. We can go 8 and 4. Come on, give me a break. Give me a break. And so I would say, look, this is a good team. They're not 14th. They don't look or play like a MAC team. They don't have the worst quarterbacks in the Big 12. Come on. Stop with the predictions.
All right, here we go. That's a tough one for these people.
No kidding.
and that's what we've been able to do. We've been disciplined. we had, 2 penalties tonight, and it's because we play the way you're supposed to play, and it's clean. We're a team that strains. We got to continue to do it, but nobody plays harder than we do. We're a tough team that's mentally tough, and you saw that tonight. We had multiple guys go out, and hopefully, and those guys, we had a couple guys that are going to have to stay here overnight, and we've gotten some positive reports on those guys. But you saw the true mental toughness. There's nothing harder than seeing somebody really get hurt in this game and being able to bounce back from that.
All right, Coach Johnson. We talked about discipline, talked about lack of penalty. Let's talk about that discipline that he's talking about and what you see on this team. How do you see it? We know about penalties are really good. The lack of are really good. What else do you see out there?
I tell you what I see. I just right now at this juncture in the season, and what you're seeing is, this isn't a team loaded with 4- and 5-star players. It's not. You know what? And I think the credit, I don't care if the season ended today and you're 4-1, this staff, I think these players, the strength coach, Mike Joseph, what they've been able to do as far as development's concerned. I mean, people don't realize on the outside the amount of distraction, the amount of turmoil that's going on constantly with the transfer portal. So now, you've got players that are coming in that have never been on the team. For them to be able to mesh this team together in a short amount of time with the amount of kids that are coming in, going out, how do you do that? It has to be a culture. It's taken a while to get to this point. Obviously more, it hasn't happened as fast as everyone would like. But I'm just telling you, the amount of development and where they're at now and the way they've brought some of these kids along and they've, and think about this, Dale. Think about when Don Nealon was here. It was West Virginia against the world. No one believed in him. You had kids coming in that played in the early 80s, 90s that no one else recruited. And then they end up being starters for, and you're beating other people with 3, 4, and 5-star players.
All right, that's right. No, you're 100% correct. And I'm going to tell you this right off the bat, that when I go ahead and I think about this, you hear all this toughness and this grittiness. Now, that's what we wanted to see. And let's not be unreal here. And when I say this, right, let's not be unreal when I say we haven't seen that in 3 or 4 years. Okay, so yes, I'm fired up, and yes, I'm there with these guys, but it's also been a call of almost demanding it. That's what it's taken. And when you think about that, Hawkeye, we've almost had to demand it because it has not been there 2 or the last 3 years. This type of attitude, this type of mentality was not there 2 years. The last 2 years guaranteed it.
Absolutely, it wasn't there. And Dale, me and you have beat that drum. We've really spoken our mind and called. We kind of called this team out on this show. Maybe Neil shows this show on Sundays and it resonated. I don't know, but you're exactly right. We're finally seeing this, and as Coach put it, Neil had to humble himself and step back and say, "Hey, we got to get back to basics." We're seeing the results.
I think that Neil had to get back to basics, and he did. And this is all positivity at him. And I'm saying this because I give kudos when kudos is supposed to be, but I'm going to call you out. Like in the game, I'm tweeting out there, and you're like, dude, when you don't cover the quarterback, when you got a guy like Chandler Morris, who's number 2 in attempts on a team, and you're not counting his number to run, like that second touchdown, okay, that's a problem. All right? That's a problem. You need to cover that. And that's what they changed from the first half to the second half.
Absolutely.
They start accounting for the quarterback. But, yeah, how about we start out? Again, you can have big constructive criticism, but you're not sitting there hating on people. I do not hate Neil Brown. If people actually knew, I'm actually been very good friends with Neil Brown. But there comes a time when you have to go ahead and coaching job, and I would expect anyone to say the same thing to me. If I wasn't getting it done, He's 500 right now, 26-26. If I was not getting it done, I would expect somebody to call me out. Frank, would you not?
Well, I'm glad you said it, constructive criticism. And that's really important. I don't see a lot of that. I see just criticism. And, just following up on what Hawkeye said, people don't understand, and they really should. Putting a program together at West Virginia is different from putting together a program at Southern Cal or Ohio State. And still everybody expects you to win, but you've got to get the right guys. And what I see out of this team is there are a lot of character guys. They're guys you'd want to pal around with, want to have as family members, and they've united, and they're good football players, right? And on the outcome side, and you and I talked about this earlier, Dale, Neil is still doing well nationally in recruiting. He's in the top half of the Big 12 for next year. Third, if you take out Oklahoma and Texas, that won't be in the Big 12 next year. And they're starting to win. It takes longer. And so you have to be patient and trust the climb, trust the process. And it's not going to be immediate.
Boy, you say that, man. And wow, a lot of flashbacks go right on there. There's no doubt about it. But let's go ahead and let's hear it from Garrett Green. Oh, yeah. It would help if I actually turned his volume up. And here we go. Hey, guys, you know what? If it wouldn't be the Wolfman's call if I didn't screw up. Just remember that.
I think that I was pressing too much in the first half. That's something I have to continue to get better at. I was pressing too much, and then in the second half I kind of just let it fly and let my guys make plays for me.
As fired up as I am, I keep going back to this. Is that this guy has never completed 60% of his passes in the game. And
you know what I love about that, Wolf?
What?
You want your team not just to win, but how they win and who is playing. You want West Virginia to be a blue-collar, hard-nosed team, and you want this team to fit. We're not arrogant. You hear what he said? The first thing he did was be self-critical. And then he talked about his team. He wasn't scripted to say that. It's not about me. He's not beating his chest. Look what I did. We won. Or I got us to win. It was really about team. If people can't take pride in that kind of profile in a state like West Virginia, which is blue collar, tough, I don't know what. I had a conversation with Mike Rollins over the weekend, and both of us exchanged that we were in tears watching that game at the end. We were in tears because it was an emotional experience.
Yeah, it was for a lot of people. But I want to say this, though, Frank, is emotion's emotion, and TCU's one game. There's still 7 more games left. And if you're not having a quarterback that can hit 60% of his passes and having problems intermediate-wise and just being spurred on here, spurred on there, that's a real problem. There's something – you can't keep overcoming this and thinking that these type of games, as I said earlier, and I'll go to you, very opportunistic, but can you sustain this type of momentum through 12 games of just – every week is going to be just really hard. And just because you got to drag everything out of you, everything out.
Yeah, it's tough to sustain. But the thing you think about this, Wolf, it's almost like think about basketball. Analogy of basketball. Hey, I can't hit a shot, but man, I can make up for it in rebounding and defense. But same thing here. Garrett Green's going to get better. They've expanded the playbook as far as passing. But the thing is, what you're going to see is you're going to start seeing teams load the box up. They're going to put 8 guys in the box.
We're already doing it.
You're not going to run. You're not going to run on us. You're going to have to throw the ball down the field. So, yeah, it's going to be tough. It's going with this same scenario, with this formula, it's going to have to change and expand passing-wise.
There's going to be a time when the quarterback has to win the game with his arm. There's going to be a time. Hawkeye, yes. Am I right or am I wrong?
No, you're 100% right. And Garrett, I love that kid. He's tough. He's gritty. He played a great game. But just like Coach said, there's going to come a point when you can't run the ball, and you're going to have to rely on that quarterback's arm. And here I'm going to be critical, but I just don't know that Garrett's that guy that can sit back there and have to complete 35 passes to win a ball game. I don't have that confidence.
Okay, let's take this in a different way because I want to point out something here. over the weekend, right before, you had Cortez Bram and you had Jeremiah Aaron, two junior college guys that were expected to contribute this year, just quit. We know the receivers are not performing at this to max capacity at this time. What is going on is that these receivers, and I'll say this in both, I say Garrett Green's going to put out some bad throws. I'm going to say Nico, most especially, had a lot of drops on him by the receivers. These quarterbacks, though, need help. And, again, I didn't think they targeted Cole Taylor till the second 10 and a half. Why would you not target that guy with the tight end screen just to get going? Do something. Tight end screen, a tight end, whatever, anything tight end, an arrow route, which is just straight. I mean, it makes no sense to me why you don't try to get these guys involved. Help your quarterback out. And that's what I would say. Listen, he went 10 or 21. That's less than 50%. You're not going to win Big 12 games continually on that. Again, they've surprised me very much. They're 4-1, and I'm never going to take that away from them, nor would I ever try, and I'm very happy. But you can't keep doing this. They need help, and they need help in the receiver room. Frank.
Oh, you're absolutely correct. In fact, I've been looking at the grades, as you know, every week, and the top graders, the offensive line for the most part, and linemen, and in some cases the secondary. But I looked at the TCU grades. And on Pro Football Focus, and they're all pretty much all in the low 60s. And what they need, obviously, is to get Cole Taylor more involved in the game, just as you said. And we have to have two go-to wide receivers. But I'm not sure who that is at this point.
Well, I know who it is.
Carter? Is it Carter?
It's Clement. I mean, he's the only one who's performing.
He graded the highest this past weekend of all the wide receivers. And, if they could get Carter Carter and Clement, they complement each other in terms of their body types, their speed, et cetera, et cetera. But you're right. You got to have two go-to wide receivers and your tight end involved.
Hey, Coach Al. Yes, I'm sorry, Frank. I didn't mean to cut you. I'm fired up right now talking about this, because I think that Garrett Green could actually hit that 60% and above if he had some guys that could get off of man coverage and sit down in the holes where they're supposed to sit. I think he needs help. And I'm thinking, that Neil Brown, as a former wide receiver, I think that maybe he might, with two guys quitting there's something's going on in that room. So maybe he needs to go ahead and get involved using his experience as a head coach. I know that other head coaches have done that to help out a room. I'm not saying Bilal Marshall can't handle it, but something's going south.
Well, hey, two things I see happening. One is guys are quitting because what was the statement that Coach Brown made 2 weeks ago? That hey, we're gonna cut down on the rotation. We're gonna have less guys are gonna get less. Some guys are gonna get less reps because we've got to hone it down to who our top 4 or 5 receivers are. That's one thing. And then two, guys quitting because they're not getting reps or they don't foresee themselves getting reps. But I mean, why? Let me ask you a question. Why would kids quit after the 5th game of the season? Going in the 5th game of the season, I mean, it makes no sense. Why put yourself through all the hard work that you've gone to get to this point? I mean, why don't you fight? I mean, why don't you fight for playing time? And if you fight and you still don't get playing time, then you still made the guys in front of you better players. I mean, that makes no sense whatsoever. I mean, you know what? But, hey, nothing personal, but, hey, good riddance to them, okay? But I think, like you're saying, sometimes the head coach has got to step in and may step in, and he's not going to say it or do it publicly, but step in and assist that room and just say, hey, what's going on in this room? But it may not be anything to do with the room. Maybe those guys are not getting reps. And
you're right, Coach. You are right. But, they're also, you got to address the fact that there might be, and the fact that the coaches are one-year coaches, maybe he needs a little help.
Yeah, but, man, I don't know, Wolf. I mean, you know what? We're playing Division I football. This is FBS football. The coach doesn't make the catches for him. He doesn't help him get off the ball. I mean, it comes down to, what is it? Effort is controlled by attitude. I mean, the coach, once they get on the field, I can't, if you're the right offensive guard. I mean, we'll find out what kind of coach I am. Did I teach you enough to survive or to be successful, or did you, or you can't. It's like what do you call it? Travel basketball, where the kids are on the bench and the coach is talking to them, and the kids are looking up in the stands, and dad or mom's up there trying to tell them what to do. Hey, you're a man now. You're 18 and 22 years of age. Step up.
Hey, quit talking about my family and being a travel.
Hey, that was your family up there looking down on the stands.
I was giving the hands on hips. No,
that was your older brother, Craig. That's who it was.
I would never interfere with the coaches. And I always said, "No, that's your coach over there. Don't ever look at me. Don't ever look at me." But you'll be able to hear their mother, so don't worry about it. All right, Hawkeye, what do you say about this? I mean, you think there's an issue in that room, or do you think that, they're not producing? They got two guys quitting. Do you got to look there? You have to or not? I'm just saying what maybe is a possibility. I don't know.
Well, I agree with both of you. Coaches coach, players play. If you're coaching these guys how to get off of this man coverage and press coverage, and the player's not going out and doing it, you really can't blame the coach. You blame the player. So, yes, we're weak in the receiving department. And I go back to you with the tight end. Man, those are normally high percentage passes to the tight end. That's like the 14-footer in basketball. It should be almost automatic. Get that tight end of the game. I think it would help Garrett a lot to have that as an option. And TCU, they run their guy right down the middle of the field on us. You would have thought somebody would have looked and said, "Hey, why can't we do that?"
Well, I thought they've been actually doing stuff for him up until TCU. To be quite honest with you, Frank, I sit there now. Cole Taylor. Did you see that? Did you actually see the catch he made?
Oh,
the ball was way behind him. He had
it was a bad
arms and reached back and catch. It was an incredible catch. And what I guess I'm trying to say is, I think that was the first read for Garrett too. So that was the first throw. I can see that big. Go ahead and do more of that though. Do more. Help your quarterback out.
Yeah, you're absolutely correct. One of the reasons I like what you do on this show, Wolf, is that you do a lot of analysis and you rely on numbers. If you look at what happened on Saturday, when you look at how we graded out on our pass routes run versus TCU coverage, the TCU coverage was 20 points higher. And our line play was better pass blocking than run blocking. Now, if you put those two together, that says, hey, is the problem the quarterback or the problem with respect to the receivers? I think it's a little bit of both. In life, it's hardly ever one or the other. It's a both and. But the fact of the matter is, going back to what we're talking about, the theme is you can't expect the quarterback to do it alone. That pass offense has to upgrade. And I think going back to what Hawkeye said, coaches coach and players play, is the players have to step up and run better routes. They're not getting enough separation, and the numbers are showing that week after week.
All right. Well, Hawkeye has to go. He's got a game to go do, and we're going to go ahead and let him get out of here. But I know I told him only 40 minutes, but guys, as always, it goes a little bit longer. I will tell you. Let me ask him here. There he is right there. Let's see. Well, are you done?
Well, I was getting ready to say I'm going to have to jump off here. I got to go out here and try to control these filthy, mangy animals for a few hours, but I love it.
All right, last question then, right here, Joey. Is C.J. Donaldson running timidly?
Is that to me?
Yep. Robert, you got to go.
Okay. Yep. Well, here's what I seen Saturday night. Number one, when first contact's happening in the backfield, that's tough on a running back. He can't get ahead of steam. He did look like he was running slower to me, especially when we brought the smaller back in. I can't think of his name right now. He looked like a water bug.
White.
Right.
White, yeah. Jaheim White.
Yeah. He really looked like he was carrying the mail. CJ, I think, is running hard. Sometimes it's just the holes aren't there. So I'm not going to be critical of CJ. I think that kid plays as tough as any running back in the country.
All right, Coach Al, what say you?
He may be hurt. He could be hurt. I mean, they're not going to announce it. I'm not going to put it out there if I'm a coach, but I mean, he may not be 100%. I mean, you may think, hey, he's not hitting as hard, not hitting the hole as hard. He's not driving his legs, etc. But I mean, he could be hurt. So I think let's see how he does this week.
All right. And I say, Frank, if that's the case, if he could be hurt, maybe he is, maybe he's not. But isn't it a coach's job to know that?
Yeah, you know what Joey's saying is that I've heard probably 20 times, and I agree with him. He's not the same CJ as he was last year. That's the what. I think there's a lot of evidence it's the what. You look at his numbers, but we don't know the why. He may be hurt, as Al's speculating. It may be something else. I don't know. The thing that to me is mystifying, you have one of the best offensive lines in the country, experienced, quality guys. Frazier may be the best center in the country.
He is the best center in the country.
He's just unbelievable. They're all great. And so that's what I don't get. It's not as though I don't trust the offensive line. That can't be it. So I don't know what it is, but we're talking now about what does WVU have to do to be successful going forward. And I think we've hit on a couple of them, and that is that receiving core has to upgrade. And CJ we're a running team, and you can't expect the quarterback to be your leading rusher every game. It's going to bite you at some point.
And CJ, to his credit, overall, 4 yards plus, a little bit over 4 yards plus. But this is what I see with CJ. He's 240 pounds, okay? He's at least 9 pounds heavier than he was as a freshman. All strength. I mean, I saw him over the summer. He looks like a rock chiseled, right? I mean, that's CJ. What I see is I don't see him accelerating, all right? Accelerating the way that you saw him accelerate last year. That could be physical or that could be mental, okay? But maybe I see him doing some tapping, tip-toeing. I see that when he should be going boom. And maybe you should stop running so much outside zone, east and west. With you say that for Jaheim White. Now, what's happened to I forget. So Justin Johnson had 4 reps. All right, where's he been? Jalen Anderson. Where the first 2 games he was running really hard. Where's he been? I mean, I haven't seen him much at Texas Tech, but I haven't heard Neil Brown say anything about him. So you got CJ. Love CJ. Stop tap dancing and hit those holes. Hit those holes and then hit him with force. We've seen what he can do when he runs extremely hard and extremely explosive. If it's a physical, if he's hurt, then that's telling you something that maybe you better get him healed. And if he's hurt, maybe you better get some other guys in there that are very capable. I'm telling you, Jalen Anderson looked really good. I don't know. Maybe he's hurt, but no one's telling us, so I don't have any answers. But I know that CJ right now is not popping like he popped last year. That's a fact. I don't care what anybody else wants to say, whether he's hurt, whether it's mental, whether it's no, it's not the offensive line. He's not running as hard. Even in the first 2 games, he ran harder. First 2 games,
right,
or 3 games. Pitt game, he ran hard. Not Texas Tech. So again, it could be a men. Some of these guys start thinking, well, maybe I'm a dancer. Dude, you're 240. You're not a dancer. Okay, I want to be a dancing bear all day long, but when it came down to it, I was going straight forward, knocking guys back, or it was my butt to get out of there because Jacobs would have pulled me. I'm not a dancer for that way. CJ's not a dancer. He's not supposed to be a dancer. He's supposed to be north and south. Don't run east and west with the north and south guy. That's what I say. Al, what say you? Keith, you can get out of here anytime you want, brother.
Well, I'm asking.
All right, guys. Hey, it's been a pleasure, guys. I got to roll. I got to get up on the hill.
All right,
take care.
Take care.
I mean, he showed power. I mean, why would you? I mean, him personally. Why would you change your game? It's all been about power and hitting the hole and just throwing it up in there. I mean, Stay in your lane. Stay in your lane.
You're right, but you know these young guys. All of a sudden, they think, or they're running like Chuck Foreman or O.J. Simpson, and then all of a sudden they turn into a scatterback. You're not. That's not who you are. I think sometimes, and I have a ton of respect for Chad Johnson, so I think he was going to get him straight. But I just worry sometimes that sometimes you think you're this when you're not that.
Yeah, but what happened last year? What was before he got hurt? Us, Mountaineer Nation, did we ordain him? Did we declare him unbelievable? I mean, here he is, a true freshman.
Joey did. I know Joey did. Yes.
We anointed him. So now his value of himself may be higher than what it actually is, but there could be outside noise in his ear telling him that he needs to do this and he need to do that. And, go with the horse that brought you there. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. What are you saying? Go with the date that took you to the dance.
There's no question. Hey, I was going to say the horse that brought you to the dance. Okay, sorry. If you brought a horse to the dance, you're in trouble.
That's right. All right, Frank. So let me go ahead and let you guys go, man. I'm going to let you go because we've already been an hour. But when you sit there and you see this backfield, the backfield, besides the offensive line, was supposed to be the strength of the offense. And we're not seeing a whole bunch of it. You heard Neil Brown say Jaheim White wasn't practicing hard enough last week before to get the reps by his teammates. And then you saw him get in there, and he had a nice play or two, and their nice run for 25 yards to one around the edge. But, where's the other backs? What are they doing? And why is it just CJ? And you can tell Neil in the press conference, he's not that happy with CJ. You can just see, it's almost a body language with him, or maybe it's the way he talks, but he's not terrifically thrilled about how CJ's run the ball.
Yeah, going back to what I said earlier about football teams and organization. In any organization, if you're a CEO or a manager, you're going to have personnel that, what's going on now? This is not the same employee that I had 6 months ago. And so you have to sit down with that person and figure it out. So going back to what we talked about earlier, it's the players and it's the coaches. In some cases, it's the two coming together. Again, we are now looking at a ceiling for West Virginia that none of us thought was possible before. Not having Texas on the schedule is a blessing because they look really good. But Oklahoma is outstanding. And the other teams are good in their own ways. So for West Virginia to be all it can be, and that's what it's always about, trying to achieve your potential. CJ is absolutely critical. And I think you're right. It's a fact, what you're saying, Wolf. The question is, what's going on? You gotta identify it, and then you've got to solve once you know what the problem is. And we're gonna, the beautiful thing is, God, what a wonderful thing a bye week is. It came at a perfect time for WVU. So let's get it fixed before Thursday next.
Yep, absolutely. Okay, Coach Al, what say you last thing? What do you want? How do you want to leave this?
Tell you what, the bye week's coming at a great time. You're talking about C.J. Donaldson. The things we don't know, guys, is his prep. Is he preparing as hard as he did 5 weeks ago or this time last year? Those are things we don't know. I mean, it may not be injury. Maybe who knows what it is, but I know the bye week always comes at this point of the season. I mean, it's great, and you get momentum, and you just gotta, the thing is, like I said before, you got to cover the schedule. It's got to be one game at a time. You can't look down the road. You can't look down the road. I mean, you got one team, one focus in mind, and it's Houston. You know what? If you look beyond that and you thinking you're putting this in the dub column, we're gonna get bitten. And what's Saban call it? He calls it rat poison, right? You call it rat poison. We're never as good as we think we are. We're never as bad as we think we are. But the thing is that you just got to focus on the moment.
Nope, no doubt about it. All right there, Frank. How are you going to finish this one off?
Well, yeah, just to key on what Al said, you got Houston. Houston's not just another team. You got a former WVU coach there, and you've got two guys, both on offense, running back and tight end, that were on the team last year. And so that's really got to rev things up from an emotional point of view. They're going to go into that game with a hell of a lot of confidence. But as you pointed out, the panel has pointed out, there are issues that have to be addressed always. So let's see improvement next Thursday night.
Got to be fun. And with Dana Holgerson, you know, guys, I sat at a table right next to Dana for 7 years on the coaching show. 7 years, and he even used to come into my segment of the Wolf's Den and talk. You know, the guy's very, very smart. He's having issues this year. I don't think he's a dedicated recruiter as he should be in a lot of ways, but his brilliance was brilliance in the what he did. And when we went 10-2 in the Big 12 at WVU, when he got his contract extension, that was the best coaching I ever saw Dana Holgerson do. I'm going to say this to you. This is the best coaching job Neil Brown's ever been doing, at least at WVU. There's not a question that this is the best job of coaching he has done in his 4.5 years, 4.25 years, whatever it is. Here, I'm just saying it flat out right now. It's easy to see, and I saw that. And Dana, I'm not saying this team's going to go 10-2. I'm saying this is the best job I've seen these two head coaches get. Dana back then and Neil Brown right now. And it couldn't come at a better time for Neil Brown than right now. All right. All right, gentlemen. Thank you very much. I appreciate your time. And Frank, maybe we're going to get a little more with you later on in the week for a little bit of Frank Fear Hour going on. We need some stats. We need some history. We need some facts, man. We need something to go on here. And Coach Al, you come on anytime, man.
Okay, well, hey, see you guys. Take care. Have a good evening.
All right.
Always
Go
a
Mountaineers.
pleasure, Will. Thank you.
Go Mountaineers.
Take care, Al.
All right. See you guys. Oh, my goodness. That is just amazing, amazing, amazing. Let's hear it right now from Parmar Stores, NIL, name, image, likeness at WVU. And Parmar Stores is definitely going ahead and taking care of our WVU student athletes.
Hi, I'm Abby Pearson from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and when I'm back home, you will find me at my local Parmar store.
We had that gold and blue pride at your local Parmar store. We are coming to your neighborhood soon. West Virginia, Kentucky, Ohio, Pennsylvania, and Maryland, we have you covered. Download the Parmar app and sign up for the Parmar Rewards Card. Food, gas, groceries, and more, we are gold and blue proud, and we are Parmar stores.
If there's not a Parmar store near you now, there will be soon.
And there will be soon. Very, very good. I'll tell you what a great group. Hey, thanks to David Miller from West Virginia Illustrated. Yeah, I keep going back to that. That's a long time ago. It probably, I know he's proud of it and what he started there and created. So great to have him on. Great to have Hawkeye on. Coach Johnson. Hey, he's got a brain. It's just experience, man. Of course, Frank Fear, author, historian, has a world of experience and wisdom himself. And they try to teach me some things, and sometimes I learn, and sometimes I just don't. Because I am who I am. All right, folks, it's that time now, a time that I love. Let's hope that this works out. There we go. All right, so let's take a look. I want to take a look at the defense today. And, of course, again, I jumped the gun there without setting it up here. And get this ready to go. Yes, I like this. Now, this defense, I got to tell you something. I was really fired up, really fired up about how this defense came out in the second half. So I've been critical of this defensive staff because of last year. Not going to take it back for last year. Not going to take it back because they were bad. They were bad. Whether it was personnel reasons or no matter what, it was bad. And I will say this. I thought they were bad the first half, this defense. I would say awful, but they weren't good. 300 yards in the first half, 21 points. That's not good defense. So when you go ahead and you say the first half, but the second half, I'm telling you the truth. I tell you exactly how I feel. They played really well. And they took this game and they took over this game. They took over the game. No points. Blocked 2 field goals. Yeah. That was something else. At TCU. That's something else. Now, that's a half to write home about. That's for sure. Looking at it here, I'm seeing this and watching. Let's take a look at what we see here. There you go. You're coming up. The guy's in motion. What you going to do? You got to get it, the jet across the middle. Penetration. How about this? How about a Hershey there, McLean? Chocolate, right, man? I'll tell you what, he's making some plays there at the spear safety, doing some good things. You see him coming up. I saw Aubrey Burks making that versus Pitt, and Texas Tech making some big old tackles. Again, that's real big right there. Like it. How about Ben Cutter, number 15 there, huh? How about that? How about getting in there, bud? Yeah, freshman. I can't tell you, you know how difficult it is for a true freshman to play at a linebacker? That's a physical spot. That's physicality. That's huge. Huge. Okay, watch it right now. There you go. Oh, look at that. Oh, man, what's going on? This is what I told you about. This is what I'm saying. Is what I say is you got to account for the quarterback. You can't give this up. You can't give this up. And then he's off to the races. Second most attempts on the team besides Imani Bailey, who was leading the Big 12. You see it as 3rd and 2. Oh, you got suckered in. There's no one accounting for the quarterback. And, in fact, I think we need to do more of that if Garrett Green's ankle is okay. And if Nico, if he gets there, if his ankle's okay. Whoever's quarterback's ankle is okay, but we need to do more of this. This is what I'm talking about. Pull that thing, Reed, and get out there. Oh, that was a total sucker right there. Sucked it right in, and you don't account for the quarterback. Running quarterbacks will do that to you. It's coming up. Look at that. I mean, but it was 3rd and 2. They were trying to focus on the inside, stop it, but you got to account for the quarterback. And that's all I tweeted out there. And somebody said, boy, I must really dislike Neil Brown and the schedule. I did not dislike Neil Brown. I'm saying is that they need to go and coach the best coaching they've done, and that's what they're doing right now. Right now, they're 4-1. The season is still 7 games to go minimum. Hopefully, they make it to that 6th game. They win that and more, and they're off to the bowl game. But again, I'm not going to change. I'm not going to apologize for what I said this summer that they had to do, because that's what they did. And it's kind of exactly what I said that they needed to do with physicality, blocking, tackling, all those things, discipline, penalties, all that game management, right? Is that they needed to do that in order to win. And that's what they're doing. Kudos. Love it. Thank you. Neil Brown, walking around with a little bit of sweat, a little bit pissed off in his neck. I love it. I want more of that from Neil Brown. More of it. And look at, I like this, man. Oh, yeah, here you go. Tommy, right? Tommy coming through, penetrating. You can see him up here. He's number 3. He's going to just blow right through the guard, the center. Obviously, they screwed that up, but there he is. TFL, man. 9 TFLs, and that includes the 5 sacks. 9 tackles for losses. That's pretty darn good. You can see him here. You like this? This young man, he makes plays. You know, he's only coming over from Kentucky. He's only, I believe, he's a redshirt freshman. Listen, guys, it's not that you make all these big plays all the time when you're young, but when you see that they make big plays, when they can actually finish a play like this, a TFL or a sack, when you see that, which Toby did in Penn State, okay, big game, right? When you can see that, that means they're probably going to be special. Because once they get it all together in their age and their strength and their quickness and all that together, and that means that they're going to be special, like Cutter, unfortunately, Lathan, who's playing so well out there. I loved him too. I mean, I was like, man, that's a great Will. That's a great Will. I was shocked. A redshirt freshman and a freshman playing there in the game. And God bless Trey Lathan. I mean, he's going to be all right. So he'll be back next year. All that God willing stuff and good stuff. But again, these are the guys that can make plays when they're young like this. Man, it's usually a good sign. I love it. You got 1st and 10. It's 21-14, 10-14. The defense shut it down in the second half. That's why I'm showing you defense today, man. Proud of these guys. Proud of the effort, toughness, right here, and recognition. Remember, look at that. Again, there you go. Check it out. You got Cutter. I tell you what, man, he doesn't even wear D-pads. Oh, my goodness. Coming through, crashing. You see Tommy there. Good. That's TFL. Again, 9 TFLs. That's something good. Something's cooking right there in the neighborhood, right? Oh, this is not so good here. How does this hole get so open? That's not good. Let's check it out. All right, so you're seeing you basically got a 4-man defensive line. You got 6 guys in the box. You see up here, it looks like Lance Dixon. He's trying to straddle. This is what I talk about, straddling that box. 1 foot in and 1 foot out. And it makes it tough right here. But let's see here. There's too much of a hole. Look at this hole here. Now, that's a misfit. There's a misfit going on right here. And this is in the third quarter. Now, again, defense played extremely tough. But they did come back to make it close, right, with the field goal. So what do you want to clean up? I want to clean up. This is a misfit. That's not gap integrity right there. All right? That's something you want to improve on. Now, look, you got to get these guys here to come make this hole. It's too big. No one's taking the gap. And it can be better than that. All right, he gets hurt. We're not going to talk about that. Poor youngin. Don't worry, man. You got lots of love. You got lots of time here. Get healed and get better. But you can see right here, that's got to be gap integrity, and somebody's not there. And it's wide open. All right. Let's keep moving on. That's really slow-mo there, huh? And hey, do you see that tackle right there? You see that coming to east and west? That's what I'm talking about when you have to get there and you have to go outside, one leg outside the box, one leg inside the box. That's exactly what I'm talking about. It's arm tackles. It makes it more difficult. Jeez, man, take forever this play. There we go. Alrighty. Again, right there. Pitch out. Now, again, this is 2nd and 10. A quick pitch out, and there's a failure. There's a hole. Now, this is 1:23 left, 2nd and 10. Understand you're worried about the passing, getting in there for field goal to tie it, but 2nd and 10, they got 11. That's something you want to clean up on the run. You saw the run being cleaned up there a little bit on that. Now, let's go ahead and look at this right here, the passing. This is the first touchdown. This is the CJ Richardson? Yeah, I believe so. Is this going to do a slant? Well, we saw that in the spring game, remember? I mean, he hit it. That was Devin Carter in the spring game. Just a slant. Aubrey Berkshire misses the tackle. East to west. Or was that someone else? That may have been Wilson there. Maybe I screwed that. No, that's Wilson right over here. All right, so that was Aubrey Burks missing the tackle. Again, there's missed tackles in the first half. There weren't so many missed tackles in the second half. So I will say that. Again, that's an adjustment. It's a good job. Let's see, there you go. Yep. Oh, it's a freebie. That's just free, man. Just free. Nobody getting in direction. No redirection. That touchdown. Not a good play. All right. But you'll see it on tape, and hopefully you take care of it, and nobody wants to be running like that and trailing. That's for sure. Do better next time. Now you're in 3rd and 7, and you're rushing 4. I'll tell you, and 5 sacks, I really liked when they rushed 4. I know they rushed 3. The one time Sean Martin in that last play, when people think they should have been getting rid of the ball and intentional grounding, I should say. But again, here, I thought for the most part, they did a nice job at controlling him in the second half. This is a heck of a catch here. Heck of a catch. And I'm going to tell you this, Beanie Bishop, I am impressed with his corner skills. He's playing well thus far this season, and he's even better when he gets aggressive, in my opinion. When he's aggressive, he's into the game. Again, you're rushing 4 here, bringing the backers, probably the bandit there. That was Lee Cole, but so was middle linebacker, and making the play happen. Okay, next play. Okay, there you go. Right there. Again, that's RPO. Run pass option here. Let's check it out. Again, missed tackle. Don't need that. Missed tackles. And Marquise Floyd, again, he's been playing better. He had a great game against Texas Tech. All right. Let's not go back to that same thing. That was a nice RPO, though. That's just RPO, getting it in there. And Chandler Morris doing a nice job. And with the catch and the run, yards after catch. Yak, man. Yak. Okay, here we go. What's next here? Come on, D. Let's go, D. Shut it down, right? RPO. There, yep. Hey, I'll tell you this, man. Lee Koba, I'm telling you, is tough. Lee Koba is tough. All right? Just so you all know that. I just want to say it. Going here, and he gets the catch. All right. Zone, you got to be careful. The man going across. What are you seeing here? He drops back. You see, you got to stay tighter on that. That's That's man coverage right there. That wasn't even zone, so that was man. And Hershey McLean, he's got to stay tighter on his man right there. And so you see here, I thought they're doing a good job of alignment. Again, there's the missed tackles, which, first half, they really cleaned it up in the second half a lot. I thought that was missed timing play here, unfortunate. And, you see Cutter came off. Now, I had a nice tweet out there because Cutter has just been really I see what happened there. All right, but Cutter's just really playing sharp for a Will linebacker as a freshman. I'm just really, really impressed. Ben Cutter, I think he's going to be something. And go ahead, and you got to make those tackles the next time. All right, let's go. Continue on. Going to drop back. It's 4th and 2. 4th and 2. And you hate to see this on a 4th and 2 for a touchdown. It was a 3rd and 2 when he ran for the touchdown. I'm talking about Chandler Morris here. Let's take a look at it. You're in zone coverage. This is nothing but cover 4 right here. And cover 4 is he's swinging across. What happens? He gets right behind Wilson, the safety, and in front of the safety here, which is Marquise Floyd. All right, so he gets that, and then Ruffin can't catch him on the edge. That makes it a touchdown, 21-14 on a 4th and 2. You hate to see it. Look at right here. You're going to see him going. He gets underneath and over the top, right in between there. That was actually cover 3 right there. That was cover 3, and making those. You don't want to make those missed tackles. You got to have the right angle, the right stress. I stress. You'll see the whole thing here, and you'll see what I'm going to say. I think. Make sure I'm right here, and it's he's going. It's cover 3. You can see it there. He plays up underneath. Well-timed ball, well-thrown ball, and it just caught the defense right in the perfect zone to hurt the defense. Check this out here. Oh, here comes the pressure. Oh, there's the guy I want to talk about, Michael Lockhart. Man, I'll tell you what, I like this young man. He is really the first 5 games, man, because you need a nose guard in there that could really, really play multiple downs, and I did not know he was ready for the challenge. He's ready for the challenge. There's no doubt. I've seen him, and he's playing with a lot of heart, a lot of desire. He's continuing on. He's making extra effort plays. There's no doubt he's making extra effort plays on this. All right, and he has continually since Penn State. I saw him make a play at Penn State, 14 yards downfield, making a tackle. Again, I keep repeating this. Watch it. You see him. He's going to get in there and get the sack. And now watch this. This is what I love. It's a screen, man. He sees the screen. He reads the screen. He reacts to the screen, and he makes the play. That's what I'm talking about. Right? Look at that. Look at Big Man. Big Man out there watching. Yeah, man. Football's fun. It's exciting. When you go ahead and you make those big plays like that, that is fun. You can't get better than that right there. Yeah, man. Get jazzed. Look at that. Oh, he reads it. And he makes the tackle. And golly, man, that's what I'm talking about. That's fun. That's when football is fun. And you know what? You can see his coach, AJ, man. Andrew Jackson right there going ahead. And he's fired up too. That's just feeding off of each other, man. I love it. Love it. All right, so here we are, fourth quarter, 3 minutes. Here we go. What happens here? He's going to feel the pressure. He's going to roll a little bit. Oh, he keeps falling. That's a great play by the quarterback. I mean, this is difficult. I'm not going to lie to you here. Chandler Morris being able to make that play on the run, keeping his eyes downfield. I mean, that's why he's a Division I football player, and the reason why he's actually pretty good at what they're doing. I will say this. I'm really surprised in the second half. I said it earlier in the show. They went away from the run. I think that opened the door for WVU to do what it did and change the momentum. It changed the momentum, and I thought that, hey, that opened the door, and it was a great opportunity for the Mountaineers, and they took it. And that's the difference. I don't care how ugly it was. They took it, And you can see here again some passing here late in the fourth quarter, maybe getting a little tired. But, the point is that this defense just keeps fighting even when they're moving up here to the 40-yard line, moving the ball, 2 minutes left. What's going to happen? You make enough plays to win the game. And you see it right here. Again, they get the first down. That's the tight end. And I'm watching it right here. It's all zone. Follow your guy. Now, I'll tell you, it's the Young Bucks. When you feel that tight end and he's doing it like a choice where he's trying to stop right in between the players, right in that middle zone there, in between your two defenders. Ben Cutter, he's going to recognize that. I think this guy's pretty sharp. And, yeah, he knows it. You see him punch the ground because he knew it. He knew it. But look at this, right? All right, 58 seconds left, 2nd and 6. What? You're making the tackle, making the play right there. Coming up big at critical times. Not coming up big at some times. Coming up big at the critical times. That's when you got to make the play. When you got to make the play, that's what I'm talking about. Critical times right there. And you can see this here. Again, you know what they're doing? They're rushing 4 dudes, man. And they got Tommy right there. You got Barrett. I mean, I'm looking at it, but you got 4 dudes. That's why I love at least a 4-man rush. I love a 4-man rush, all right? At least always, because you're keeping them honest. And here's the nice part. They go ahead and they take the lanes. Now you're going to say, I already admitted this. Yes, I know. Sean Martin, great job. Great job. But I love a 3-man rush when you can hit the quarterback and sack him, all right? Even though they took this away, I think this actually ultimately pissed off Martin to block the field goal because they took his sack away. I think he said that in his postgame. And, yeah, he gets through here. But, yeah, you know what they do, though? This is really cool. Now, if this wasn't so late in the game here, I mean, if you want to think about this quarterback could run outside and absolutely lose contain on this. But because he had to get down the field, I feel like it was 3rd and 7. So game was coming to an end. But if he actually ran, it may have actually been better. But what has happened here is you see Sean Martin working the edge of the offensive lineman. So often you see the defensive lineman, they run right down the middle of the offensive lineman. Don't ever do it. Why? You want it, the edge. Okay, I'm stronger here. If you come right down the center of me, I'm strong. Boom. Ew, be strong, right? If you come here at my edge, I'm not so strong as here. Now I just got this to fight. I'm not strong doing this. I'm strong doing this. I'm not strong doing this. Same thing as arm tackling to the east and west. It's the same philosophy, right? The same reason is that I'm not as strong east and west as I am north and south, right? Well, that's what happens here, and that's a great job by Sean Martin. Woo. I guess he wasn't down. I don't know. That was a weird play, but people saying intentional grounding. I don't know. I can't see it. Oh, look at it. Oh, there's the first block. There. Who's that? Mike Lockhart. Oh, my man. I sat the boy. I'll tell you what. I can't wait to see him. Give him a big old bear hug, man. Saying, you're a Mountaineer, brother. You're a Mountaineer. And, yeah, getting it done there. Good job. I think that was, again, I don't think this kicker's having a good night. But I don't care. It's getting the job done. And that's what they did. There's Sonny Dykes, not happy, man. And here you go. Well, there's a guy, Sean Martin. We have his grandfather, Duck Riley, on the show quite often. And here he is. And don't chase it, brother. I know, man, you're all jacked up. And you're probably saying, oh, my hand hurts because that hit pretty solid. But get away from it. You know what I mean? Get away. No chicken dinner on that football. Run away. Watch it again here. I love it. And this is critical. Making a play at the critical time. And that's what I see this team. Do you see Marquise Floyd going right away? All right. Well, let's go. It worked out, and the Mountaineers won, and that is the big deal. So happy about that. Tomorrow we're going to go ahead, and we're going to go ahead and break down the offense and finish up a TCU on that. I'll tell you what. Listen. I really believe, and I said this about Dana Holgerson, and it's on tape, that Dana really did his best coaching job that year. He went 10-2, and that was with Skyler Howard at quarterback. You know what I'm saying? Skyler Howard, and Skyler Howard couldn't. He struggled. Just say he struggled with the intermediate ball. Boy, he could hit those long balls, and he could hit the short ones, and he could run. And he went 10-2. I'm not just trying to draw the similarities here because that's not what it's about, but it's kind of do. You know what I mean? And you're thinking about this now. Garrett Green, I'm going to tell you, I think WVU is blessed to have a guy like Garrett Green. I'm just going to say the truth. I always tell you how I feel, exactly the truth. And I think he's an incredible athlete. I think he's one of the gutsiest dudes to go out there and play. And he's got swagger. And I think he really believes in himself. I think his teammates do as well. I do think he's limited in the passing game. I really think so. And I think it's eventually going to come and hurt the Mountaineers. And we'll see. And if I'm wrong, and I do not want to talk bad about a Mountaineer. I'm not going to. But I'm just saying I think that's going to be an issue if they don't get it straightened out. Maybe the receivers can help him a little bit. Maybe he can get a little more accurate and work his feet. Maybe he can get better as the season goes on because he's getting that more experience. Maybe that will settle him down. Maybe he won't push himself so much as he said today in today's show. Maybe he won't do that so much. Maybe. So let's just go ahead and you got to hopefully work with what you got. I think you should help him out. Help out that man, and we'll see what happens from there. Everything that's done, I think it's great, man. I think it's great. Let's see. Let me see here. We'll finish out. And Joey Foster, what you got saying here? Wolfman, remind me how bad the D looked the first half. Wow, not good at all compared to after the adjustment. Yeah, but adjustments are good, Joey. Adjustments are good. It's not how you start, it's how you finish, right? Yep. It's all been good. I've been watching the other website. It's all good. I've been watching the other website. Not sure what you mean by that. And then we have here, awesome show, Wolfman. Yep, thanks. I appreciate it. And let's see, like a good teammate, I always stick with you to the end. All right, Timothy. And what do we got here? We all want Neil Brown to succeed. I love him a lot more compared to Holgerson. I'm glad he is winning. All right, Joey. Yep, I bet you are, man. I'll tell you what, that is fantastic. And we're going to go ahead and let's get this. Remember, I'm going to go ahead and do offense tomorrow and see here. But let's go with the network. Can't forget about my network because they mean so much to me. Let's get it jacked up here and throw them on in and up. Very good. Okay, Brickside Bar and Grill. There you go. Rob Davis down in Bridgeport. Eat locally, man. Love it. You got Mountaineer Tap House in Morgantown. Mel got you there. You got the Pitch Sports Bar and Grill down in Dunbar, West Virginia. Love that. Down there, great atmosphere. Route 22 Sports Bar. You got bottoms up tap system. You got the 1250-inch screen TVs. Cool place. You have the Mason Jar, barbecue, and more. Unbutton those britches right there in Fairmont. Thank you, Steve Reese. Appreciate you there, man. You got Gizzy out there in Cheat Lake. Legend Sports Bar and Grill. Gizzy, what's up, brother? My man, there you go. Then you got Kegler Sports Bar and Grill. Royalty, Jerry, Greg, and Steve Lorenz. You got Dougie Moore. All my good friends there. And, of course, you got Calacino's down there at Pizzeria and Sports Bar in Beckley, West Virginia, right up in the mountains, man. How about Archies there in East Carson Street, Pittsburgh? Great wings. Totally dig the joint, man. Totally dig the joint. You got the Pallet in Scott Depot, Hayes Valley there. Yes, and with Haley. Yes, saying what's up. And then we have Danny's here. And let me get this down here and hide this from Joey up there. You got Danny's and Danny's Bar in Princeton, West Virginia. You got Cantrell's, River City, right down there in Hinton, West Virginia. You got the Jar, just reopened up on Friday. Love it, digging it, man. Digging what you guys do and the good stuff you're keeping going there and making it your own. Then you got Jimbo's place there at Elkins, Buckhannon. So nice they did it twice. What did I forget? Anything. All right, I think I hit everything. Very good. All right, everybody. Listen, that's it for today. Mountaineers are 4-1. They need this time to rest and relax. And yeah, I'll see you tomorrow as well. Timothy, it'll be big. There you go, man. And we'll hide that up. And let's go ahead. Who is the best center in the country? Well, I think we all know that. And that, of course, is Zach Frazier.
Hi, I'm Zach Frazier from Fairmont, and when I'm back home, you'll find me at my local Parmar store.
See ya!
We have that gold and blue pride at your local Parmar store. We are coming to your neighborhood soon. West Virginia, Kentucky, Ohio, Pennsylvania, and Maryland, we have you covered. Download the Parmar app and sign up for the Parmar Rewards Card. Food, gas, groceries, and more, we are gold and blue proud, and we are Parmar stores.
If there's not a Parmar store near you now, there will be soon.
Law offices of Mark Plants and Kevin Davis. First line of defense. Big Box Beverages, the world's tastiest portable punch, as seen on Shark Tank. Buzzballs, ready-to-drink cocktails. #1 single-serve premix brand in the U.S. Buzzballs, have a ball. Stationers, #1 office supplier in West Virginia. Always in stock. All Many, the anywhere, anytime chargers, powering a connected world. Never buy AA batteries again. Rechargeable 500 times plus. Paul Mini AA USB lithium battery, as easy to charge as your cell phone. Sustainable energy. Stay charged. Go green, save green. Feel the power of Paul. Order now at paulmini.com.
West Virginia United.